Zedcrest is a perfect story of opportunity and preparation. At the time I started Zedcrest, there was no clear plan to create the Zedcrest that we know today. It was rather just me taking advantage of opportunities that I saw at the time. When the time was right, I started Zedcrest as one of the first few players in the fixed income market space. There were no banks, by the way. And our value add was immediately evident. Before then, the market was very low on transparency and price discovery. And this was a value that the entire market and the investor base were waiting for. So we were very successful very fast. As time went on and the vision became clearer, we then crafted a better vision to create a core of businesses in the financial services sectors in investment banking, asset management, securities dealing, consumer lending, and then create a satellite of portfolio investments in the risk sector of the economy.
What drew me to Zedcrest in 2016 was, the passion of the managing director, the group managing director, Dayo Hamzat. And being somebody I'd worked with in my previous career at Axis Bank, right? When he was looking to expand the business and he reached out to me, I couldn't refuse. Coupled with the fact that, he's, very visionary. He spoke to me about the business and the plans. And for me, I think it was just a match made in heaven. It was just a very simple decision for me. And yeah, it has been a good journey so far.
The group managing director had been in touch with me on a few occasions before I had interaction with a broad section of the Zedcrest family at the annual end of year party and award night.
When we came into this space, there were just maybe like 2 players in the non-bank consumer lending space. We started with the Lagos State Moneylenders license. But 2 years after, with the appreciable level of success that we had achieved, we came to that conclusion that it was time to get our CBN license to come under the regulation of the central bank. And it wasn't easy. It's never easy getting a CBN license because a lot of scrutiny goes into the entire process. But for us, it's been worth it because what he has done for us is he has given us the credibility and also enabled us to sign on strategic partnerships that we need for our digital ambitions as a business.
I started as a branch advisor, then I became a risk analyst in the company, and at first I had just one small cubicle as was described initially. Then we had this big room, and then we had a conference room. It was just basically like family. There was ownership. Everybody was all interested in each other's progress. We just kept trying that, okay, this person becomes better.
I'd say I joined, or from my interview date, I came and I joined them as a very naive human being. One of the things that drew me to working with them was when I was being asked questions. So on that day, right, I realized one thing. It wasn't the usual tell me about yourself. It was more direct.
I started a year after Zedcrest Group launched, and I joined Zedcrest Finance. I started alone, basically, and I learned directly from the GMD.
And then I think maybe once a month or so, we used to have these trainings in the company where each person is asked to take a particular thing, and we then just sit together and the trainings go on. So we just kept growing, we kept improving on ourselves because we're not familiar with it. So if we needed anything, if we saw that anything wasn't working well, we sit together and then discuss, okay, so how should we go about this?
It was from here that I learned how to roll up my sleeves, by the way. When you get to work, you don't want to sit down looking fancy and not getting work done. You want to sit at your desk, roll up your sleeves, and get work done.
For us, growth means that we've been able to improve lives. Growth means that our customers have been able to achieve some level of success because of the partnership that we've had with them over the years. Growth means that our employees have grown, Some of them have even gone on to start other businesses. Growth means that we've been able to touch lives. For us, this is a stronger indication of how far we've come and how much we've grown as a business.
Our story at Zedcrest has been transformational, from increased revenue and profitability, strong corporate governance, solid leadership, a strong focus on delivering value to our customers and our stakeholders.
When we started the business and we started, will I use the word, making money, gaining ground, there's this need that we needed to give back to the people. And I think we started with Lagos State. I remember we started a CSR with Lagos State where we liaised with the Nigerian Medical Association to give free health services, glasses, all those kind of stuff, to free health services to people. And I remember that year that really differentiated us from our competitors. After then, they started doing something related, but we set the pace then. It's been different projects we've been doing. Yearly, we engage in a lot of CSR projects.
We consider social responsibility a key component in all we do. Under our employee volunteering scheme, we've embarked on a lot of CSR projects. For instance, during the COVID-19 lockdown, the management of Zedcrest took it upon themselves to take the risk, armed with just face masks and hand gloves, to visit inner city slums and distribute food boxes and other essentials to the poor.
In the year 2020, a lady called Barakat Bello, a student of Federal College of Agriculture at Apata here in Ibadan. The lady was killed, and when we heard about it, the company did the investigation, and we decided to pay the family of Afa and Aijia Bello a condolence visit. The company took it upon itself to offer a scholarship to the younger brother of Barakat Bello.
Orúkọ mi ni Ìyáàfin Bello Kafayat, tí mo jẹ́ ìyá Abdulaziz Bello. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ilé-iṣẹ́ Zedcrest pé mo dúpẹ́ lórí ọmọ mi Abdulaziz. Mo dúpẹ́ lórí ọdún 10 tí wọ́n ń ṣe fún àjọ̀dún. Ọdún yìí tán ṣe kò ní jẹ́ òpin o. Ìgbéga yóò mọ̀ wọ ilé-iṣẹ́ ìwà. Mo dúpẹ́ lórí ìtẹ́wọ́gbà Abdulaziz fún ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ tí wọ́n fún. Kọ́lọ́run kó jẹ́ kó náà kó lè sanjọ́. Kọ́lọ́run kó wá mú ilé-iṣẹ́ ìtẹ̀síwájú sí.
Since the inception of the ventures business back in 2019, we've invested across 40+ portfolio companies who play in the healthcare space, the financial services space, the retail space, e-commerce space, mobility, and among others. So we view our VC business as our corporate social responsibility targeted towards enterprising individuals. These are people who are creating products and businesses that are shaping and changing today's world, how we live, eat, and work. Now, what we do essentially is we leverage our learnings, scaling up Zedcrest from the start, from the get-go to its current position as a market leader in where it plays. We take that learning to help our entrepreneurs build foundational structures around operations, financial, and strategy to help them in building their, products, launch, scale, and grow rapidly. We also complement this as well with capital to aid the execution of these strategic initiatives. In our portfolio, we back several innovative founders, some of which are old school. Old school basically is changing the way we learn, in terms of how we deliver the learnings, as well as the curriculum, giving us updated curriculum in line with what the business environment requires today. We've also banked companies like Bankly, who's expanding the pie in terms of those people who would have access to financial services. That's the underbanked and the unbanked.
I think it's important that there are people or there are companies who are able to bring an idea to life. A lot of founders have great ideas, but when you don't have someone who is willing to take a bet on you, and that's what Zedcrest does, and that's what Zedcrest did for Bankly. Zedcrest was the first check in, and that was phenomenal because most times other people wait for that person or for that company to take that first bet, and that's what Zedcrest did. Secondly, I think it's just when you take investment from VCs who are maybe founders, who are backed by founders themselves, who are entrepreneurs themselves and understand the journey you're on. Maybe they are just further down the line. And so you get the opportunity to come share with them exactly what you're going through. And they have just critical, just-in-time advice, recommendations that helps you, that keeps you going.
Zedcrest was an early investor in our startup in the scene, and we're a fintech. In the last decade, Zedcrest has built an innovative scale business, right, within financial services, right, and this includes a number of financial services segments. And so beyond just the investment in us, the cash investment, they brought domain knowledge and skill set that you could not get with just any other investor. And that's something that we've benefited from, right? As a fintech, for us, there was a couple of things that we needed to figure out, right, with our business. There was a problem that we had identified. We, of course, needed the cash investment. But Zedcrest was unique in the fact that they were able to partner with us to help us think through the problem. Because they were domain experts, right? They had built a scale business, right, within financial services. And the operating environment is very harsh, right? And financial services is also very regulated, right? And so for a startup, there's a lot for you to figure out, And so as a strategic partner, they were able to make it easier for us to figure out some of the solutions that we had identified, really help us understand some of the pain points in the market and where we could plug in our solution.
Zedcrest has been a partner to a number of startups and a number of funds, and I think they have definitely been a net positive to our ecosystem.
The fixed income brokerage market in Nigeria started around 2010, and it has been largely unstructured till like 2016 when Zcap came into the market, and that was actually the bet of Zcap because we're betting on a future where the markets will become well regulated, where we will have a lot of offshore investors coming into the market to participate, and that's when the Zedcrest Group decided to incorporate the Zcap Partners business, which is the brokerage arm of the business, and that set us apart from the participants in the market. The second thing that we also did was to focus on the people, because we believe so much that the people make the business, and we focused on bringing in very dynamic people, intelligent, smart people into the business, to lead the transformation of the brokerage market in Nigeria.
First year I joined 2018, also happened to be the first edition of the FMDQ Gold Awards. That was the first time that the award for best brokerage service was ever was created. Really, it's the first time it was created, and the first time someone was going to win it. I remember that year there were only four registered and licensed IDBs in the market. We were one of the four, and the nominees were only 3, and we weren't even nominated. Right there and then in the award ceremony, you could feel on the table how everybody felt. That doesn't represent what we are to the market. It doesn't represent what we have to give to the market. And right there in the award ceremony, we had a conversation. I had a conversation with Shay and Daya. We decided that we're going to do what it takes, to make sure that subsequently our name will be recognized alongside this award. Going forward from 2018, we have won the subsequent editions of that award. That's 2019 all the way to 2022, 4 times. So it gives us validation in the sense that yes, we do the business that allows us to show volumes, right? Shows domination in volumes, but also it's a vindication that our clients trust us and they show it to us every year year in, year out?
We have been at the forefront of innovative digital financial solutions in Nigeria. Over the last 10 years, we have recorded significant achievements that have helped advance possibilities in the industry. I remember in 2017, when we released our first web application, it was a significant milestone in our journey. We were able to expose our services to those who would naturally not have been served by the traditional banking institutions. We did this by employing non-traditional data source-driven lending models. We built this into our credit decisioning systems to give more inclusion to people who are currently underserved. In that same year, we launched our first mobile application.
The Money Power app was created to enable us distribute our mass market products and also drive financial inclusion and meet our customer needs.
We also launched our WhatsApp bot, and I remember we were one of the pioneers of WhatsApp banking just last year. We launched our USSD channel, and it was the bomb. Testament to our commitment to protecting users' data, we got our NDPR compliance status in 2020, and this has gone a step further in lending credence to our commitment to protecting users.
The credit gap in Africa is still massive, and in terms of the data that we need for better credit decisioning, we've come a long way. The improvement has been commendable. For us as a company, we want to be able to take advantage of the significant growth opportunity by leveraging the explosive potential of technology to keep creating truly innovative products, to be that financial institution of reference in terms of customer service and superior service delivery.
Our youngest business, Zedcrest Investment Managers, that was launched in 2020, started out of a strategic review that we did in 2019. We started the business because we saw a lot of gaps in the investment management landscape. For example, the total size of the non-pension asset management industry in Nigeria was just about 1 to 2% of GDP, as compared to about 10 to 20% in other developing economies. This was clearly an opportunity. At that time, we were leaders in two key verticals of the financial services space. On the one hand, we were a leader in the securities dealing business through Zedcrest Partners, where we were already seen as the biggest player. On the other hand, we were also a leader in the consumer lending business of Zedvance, where we are quickly becoming the most dominant player. But at the center of it all, we face the brand identity problem. What are we really? Are we an institutional player, or are we a mass market-oriented retail lending player? This was a problem we needed to fix. Asset management was a natural solution to this problem, as it sits in the middle of both former competencies. We can then serve both segments of the market, both institutional and retail, with the same portfolio management and investment solution services. We are positioning asset management as our new core, with the retail business of Zedvance on one end and the super niche institutional business of Zedcrest Partners on the other end. We'll be able to serve both segments of the market with the same portfolio management and investment solution services. Our vision for the business is to combine our native competencies from both mature businesses of Zedcrest Partners and Zedvance Finance Limited to build a truly unique wealth management solution and platform for both institutional players and the retail markets. We are leading with customer experience, curated investment products, and a unique focus on community, thought leadership, and customer experience to deliver a best-in-class investment management proposition for everyone in Nigeria. With all of this, we truly believe we can become a top 5 asset management company in Nigeria within the next 5 years, and have a shot at being number 1 in the next decade. It will be a lot of work, but I believe we will get it done.
Zedcrest Wealth, its mission is to simplify the wealth creation process for everyone. And with a lot of financial awareness, there's still little, should I say, financial literacy. And so our mandate is to take everyone through that journey from understanding what it is, what are treasury bills, what is mutual fund. You know, just building that personal financial knowledge, how do they budget, personal finances, even for businesses, right? How do you manage your free cash flow, those sorts of things. So talking them or walking them through that entire journey to ensure that, at every point in time, their monies are put to good use, they're able to plan properly, and provide the tools via technology to be able to achieve that. We are a SEC licensed fund management business, or asset management business if you like. And that lends a lot of credibility to what we do, because there's a lot of regulation, if you like, around this sort of business. There's a lot of client protection and education around the asset management business.
The Zedcrest Group started with one company, just one company in 2013, carrying on securities trading with a focus on fixed income trading. Whilst I didn't start the journey with them in 2013, I can confidently say that they have indeed grown in leaps since their commencement. The team is known for its bullish and I can do it outlook on everything that they do, and this has indeed helped with their growth story. Following the consolidation of its securities brokerage business and the introduction of one of its subsidiaries known as Zedcrest Partners in 2016, the group has recorded over 1 million customers, disbursed over 2 million loans, and created about 4 digital channels for origination. Instructively, between 2019 and 2022, the group has invested over $10 million in startups. And all of these strides have been duly recognized by the numerous awards that have been given to the group. Indeed, this group has been acclaimed to be the market leader in the financial services sector in Nigeria. It has remained by miles the best brokerage firm for the past 3 years, and the group has indeed been acclaimed as the largest inter-dealer brokerage firm in the country.
The culture at Zedcrest is result-oriented, with our people at the heart of what we do. And because we know our people are the center of what we do, we're daily working at creating a space, building an organization that empowers people as Z-Stars to deliver these key results. We know our people are the heart of driving towards our vision and mission. We know our people are the heart of delivering our promises to our customers. We know our people are the heart of delivering best-in-class products and services. So it's very important for us to continue to create, strive towards an organization that creates an atmosphere where our people feel valued, they feel supported, they feel heard, they know they're free to speak up, and then they know their voice is important. For us, it's about celebrating our highs and lows and continuing to come to work daily, creating this space where people know that there's importance as they will ever be to Zedcrest daily.
I'm quite proud of our recent 5 billion CP issuance. The company finally decided to go to market and it did very well. So I was quite proud to also see the company finally take on that expansion challenge, and it's an interesting time for the world, globally, but it's also a time that those who are bold and those who take the risk to go into the market will find the harvest, of the market, looking at their portfolio, but also most importantly, how many young people, how many ideas from Nigeria, from Africa have gotten the lifeline, have gotten that birthing via Zedcrest and have slowly becoming giants now, so I can't wait for another 3 to 5 years and see if we'll create a unicorn from Zedcrest.
I think joining the Zedcrest Group is one of the best decisions I've made in my life anyway, because when I was joining then, Zedcrest was still very, very young, and I came from a company bigger, so I was a little skeptical that, am I taking the right step? Am I doing the right thing? And I must confess, joining the growth has been so phenomenal, because it's that one unique thing about Zedcrest Group is they give you room to grow, to do what you know how to do, and they listen to you, maybe because everybody in the Zedcrest Group we are practically young. All the directors are young people. We can talk to ourselves, and they don't rubbish your ideas. And in the space of 6 to 7 years, I've grown from being a branch manager to group head of sales to an executive director now. And I can also say same for almost everybody that we came in together, then we joined the group. So the growth has been so wonderful, and it's one of the best decisions I made actually.
Working in Zedcrest is fast-paced. It's fast-paced for me. It's having to do right by a lot of fast-moving parts, different things happening at the same time, and you're trying to do great work by them. From my point of view, it's having to put on, I've had to put on different caps at different points, having to put deep into my experience pool and quickly upscale, because Zedcrest has a lot of parts, and you're really trying to do good work daily. We're innovating daily, we're bringing, so for you to do good work, for you to continue to be best in class, it's having to continue to refine your experience and just upskill as fast as possible. Know that yesterday's best, you can still improve on it today. That's what it is like working with Zedcrest.
Zedcrest is a true financial services group. So what that means is Zedcrest has all of the verticals that makes a true financial services company. There's a lending business, there's an asset management business, there's an investment business, and there's a trading business. What that means for me as a product manager for the past 2 years at Zedcrest is I've been able to sit with executives in the trading business, I've been able to sit with the risk management team in the lending business, I've been able to learn about investment and portfolio management from the asset management executives. And that has fine-tuned my work as a product manager. Working in Zedcrest offers that opportunity to learn from a broad range of segments and sectors under financial services. So I think I've grown in my leadership capabilities as well in Zedcrest, and I would not have done that if not for the deliberate efforts of management, of the MD, of the CEO and COO, giving us opportunities to take leadership positions and take responsibility for outcomes.
I'm going to use number because it's easier to think about it from numbers. I think I went from 0 to 1,000. That's what I would say. I was given more tasks to do. I had more activities to do, and I had people to help. So the way it is, you are given something that looks so much like, oh, you can't achieve it, and then you have people surround you to help you achieve it. So there's this feeling where by the time you get to the end of the line, you feel so good about yourself. So that's more like what it taught me to be here. I was able to get involved in a lot of activities that I wouldn't have if I was still in a larger institution. I mean, because you are here and at the end of the day, you get to walk through a transaction from the beginning to the end. It enables you know the whole process, and it widens your knowledge gap. So you are not just grounded in whatever your core is, you are grounded in other businesses that surround your core.
Compared to how we started to now, I mean, I think the culture has actually grown. I mean, it's better now. And one thing we've maintained over the years is the open office policy. I mean, for Zedcrest, we would appreciate creativity, basically, right? You have any idea you want to put out, you don't have to wait for someone to ask you for it. You can actually walk up to anybody, actually. Your manager, your supervisor, the management staff, you can actually walk up to anybody and tell them what you think and how to improve the business, which is actually one of the culture I actually admire a lot in the business.
Okay, so like for every other business that you can imagine, right? Competition, came to the markets, and of course, it became hard to capture these volumes. But for Zcap, I mean, we've always been ahead of the curve. We've always been very, very deliberate about our actions. And I think one thing that we did, differently from others was that we're very deliberate about our people. We're able to bring strong hands, experienced individuals into the business that helped change the mentality of the business. And I think that is what has really set us apart and helped us to overcome the challenges in the business.
Historically, Zedcrest has been known for trading in fixed income, investing in businesses from the VC arm, payroll lending, loans and all of that. And Zedcrest Wealth is the future, if you like, because we're taking all of that investing expertise and bringing it to the everyday man. And you know, a lot of these things can feel or seem like they're complicated. So what we're doing is bridging the gap, you know, using education and technology. We've built a game center to ensure that, you know, people are engaged and that learning is taking place. There's a lot, you know, going on that front, and we'll be launching that in the coming weeks. We have initiated or established a money club, so that people can join, and you know, we have regular classes. People can ask questions. You know, there's no stupid question in these classes. Just so that we're taking that mandate to everyday people using technology and education to bridge, you know, the gap between knowledge and execution.
When we look at Nigeria, we see the opportunity to enable economic growth for businesses, individuals, and households. Over the next 5 years, our intention is to leverage technology to extend financial capabilities to these segments. We believe that when we talk about financial inclusion, it goes beyond just apps. We're talking about extending actual financial products, credit, payment capabilities, savings, market access solutions for small businesses, and embedded financing propositions for commercial businesses. That's our view of the future, and we're very bullish on leveraging technology to deliver on that future.
The context of the market, right, we're in a period where a lot of startups are failing due to either poor corporate governance structure, underlying unit economics, or lack of runway, and that has even been further exacerbated by the lack of access to funding by global VC managers, right? So what we want to spend the next couple of, you know, months or the near future is help them build, you know, capacity building around implementing best practice operational processes, systems and procedures that would, you know, make them resilient in times like this, because we believe businesses should be able to deliver on their goal regardless of what the market fundamentals are.
The future of the brokerage business, right, cannot just be in Nigeria alone, right? We have plans to expand, you know, our brokerage services across the continent. But first of all, we'll start from the comfortable level, which will be, you know, sub-Saharan Africa, where we'll plan to extend our services across Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, and then we will branch into more advanced markets like Egypt and South Africa, right? We believe that by the time we're able to capture those markets, then we can, you know, expand into other regions that we find profitable and viable. That's largely our plans, our future plans, and then we hope that our strategies, you know, come to pass.
I think what you're going to see with the groups such as Zedcrest, as dynamic as they are, is innovation. I think the products that are in the pipeline that are soon to be launched into market are definitely going to be one that will shape the financial services industry. I think that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm also excited to see how they continue to penetrate the upcoming you know, generation, that market, and offer them products that I think would be exciting for them. And that's definitely something I want to see personally. And ultimately, I want to see more success. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you're only as good as your last win. So 10 years is just the beginning. I think that the next 10 years is going to offer more successes and more wins for the group as a whole. And I personally can't wait to see that.
I think if you think about when they came up, right, they were already very formidable players in the market. And like I said, they were able to come in and be very innovative about their solution and build a scale business. And so my expectations for Zedcrest is that they would build a future for us by leveraging on the innovation that they've continued to build on, by leveraging on that innovation and continuing to scale, not just in kind of 1 or 2 markets, but certainly across the continent.
The contribution that the Zedcrest Group has made to the development of the African financial services sector cannot be overemphasized. The group has investments in over 4 continents and currently carrying on business in Ghana and Kenya. We all know that very rarely do you find Nigerian companies exporting their businesses outside our shores, but yet this group has very courageously forayed into not just Ghana, but also Kenya. The group has also contributed to the employment of over 500 dedicated staff across the continent. It has served and continues to serve millions of retail and institutional customers and has impacted over 100,000 lives through its CSR projects and initiatives. It continues to provide financial literacy trainings and programs within and outside Nigeria.
I remember 2020 when there was this COVID lockdown, a lot of lending companies were not even doing anything. They couldn't even do anything. But because of our process and our, I use the word, our digital approach to doing things, we were practically the only company doing business then, and it helped us so much. So what Zedcrest has contributed generally has been changing the face, moving away from the stereotype way, the status quo, creating a new face and taking that risk, and that's been paying off.
The biggest advantage of Zedcrest is in the people. If you're going to thrive in this age, they call it the fourth industrial revolution. The only thing that can make any enterprise, any organization, any individual to survive is to keep on recreating itself. That's, you have to keep on learning and keep on recreating yourself.
Over the past 10 years, we have focused exclusively on internal competencies, and we have patiently built capacity to become a multi-dimensional financial services business. The theme for the next 10 years, a future redefined, will see us focusing more on partnerships and venturing to deliver the next horizon for the Zedcrest Group. As we look ahead to the next decade, our vision for Zedcrest is to continue to expand on our reach and influence on the African financial services landscape while maintaining our commitment to innovation and service excellence in our customer service delivery. We aim to solidify our positioning as a leading provider of services to clients in the securities dealing, asset management, and consumer finance industries. As we go stronger, our capacity to make strategic investments in the larger financial services landscape, as well as in key emerging technologies and in the real sector, will be a strong area of focus for the Zedcrest Group. In our lending business, for example, we are launching new products and services to serve other clientele that we have elsewhere not serviced before. Also, under our asset management business, we are relaunching our digital identity as Zedcrest Wealth, a better built, best-in-class solution that will bring investment solutions to everyone in the language that they understand.
We may not become a Citibank in 20 years' time, but we will remain a very important banking institution. So it's an exciting time for all stakeholders. Right now, it's still a private company, but when it is opened it becomes a public company, naturally investors will find it a toast of investment opportunity.
It's been interesting looking at the journey of Zedcrest from when it started. It's 10 years now. It's been super interesting. From what really started as an idea to winning numerous awards. And one of the awards I was probably proudest of Zedcrest was winning one of the Client Choice Awards at the Gold Awards at FMDQ. For me, I think that goes to show not only in terms of number of transactions, but how your other peers perceive you in the industry.
My first interaction with Zedcrest was about 4 years back, and what struck me was Dio and his team at Zedcrest. I mean, there were a bunch of people who are smart, who are sharp, and who are trustworthy. And because and that impression has kind of been sustained, you know, in the subsequent dealings and interactions.
And I'm delighted to extend my best wishes to Zedcrest, the entire team, Dio, Amzat, the founder, and all of the leadership team for achieving this 10-year milestone.
I hope and I wish that Zedcrest will continue to have the best minds on the team. There's a lot of innovation happening globally and we want to be on top of that.
In the next 10 years, I want us to be the digital powerhouse where everyone can relate to.
And certainly we would see them become a large-scale player on the continent.
I wish them the best of luck. I wish them more success. I wish them more wins in the years to come.
But I can only just wish that the company will continue to soar, to really be a financial backbone for the continent.
As we celebrate this very important milestone, I'll take a minute to recognize every singular person who has been very important to the Zedcrest growth over the past 10 years. To our customers, you are the singular reason why we exist, and I cannot thank you enough for the support over the years. Zedcrest is nothing without its people. I am immensely grateful to the board and staff of the Zedcrest Group in their passionate work to make sure that we continue to be at the forefront of excellence in our industries. We operate in a very regulated industry, and we are very thankful to our regulators for creating the enabling environment for Zedcrest to thrive. The Central Bank of Nigeria, the FMDQ, and the Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria have been very important support institutions to Zedcrest. We thank you. Dear Z-Stars, you are amazing. Keep being amazing. To all industry stakeholders and other well-wishers, we are grateful for your support over the last 10 years, and we're looking forward to a more fruitful partnership in the course of the next 10 years. Cheers to a future redefined.